What's up, y'all? It's everybody's favorite Unk, and today we got some punk shit. That's right, today we got some punk shit. We are taking a look at the Marvel Legends Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1, Spider-Punk. Now, if you guys know anything about me or this channel, you know I do not review Marvel Legends regularly. I honestly barely collect Marvel Legends. When it comes to Marvel Legends, I strictly collect Spider-Man, X-Men, and Black Panther stuff. For me, I'm a 90s kid, so my Marvel fandom goes back to that Spider-Man animated series in the 90s and of course the X-Men animated series as well. So I'm not the biggest Marvel nerd, and you guys know that I normally like to make these reviews a little bit of a retrospective look at some of the characters we're looking at. This one's more just kind of like something that I'm really enamored by. I do like the new body molds that Hasbro is pulling out with this line. They're really interesting, and I kind of just wanted to take a closer look at them. I don't know too much about Marvel stuff, but I do know a little bit about action figures. So before we get into this, I always like to make these videos a little interactive between me and everybody watching at home. So I got a question for you guys. What is your favorite version of Spider-Man? We're gonna keep it real simple. It could be any version from any form within the Spider-Verse. It could be MCU, comic book, animated series. For me, it's a tie between the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man from the first Spider-Man movie. I want to say I was about 10 or 11 years old when that movie came out, and I just love it to this day. It's probably my favorite Marvel movie. And outside of that, for me, it's a toss-up between Miles Morales and the Black Symbiote version of Peter Parker. So leave that in the comments below. What is your favorite version of Spider-Man? Now, of course, we're going to look at the MSRP on this guy like we always do. This one's kind of straightforward. It's a new release from Hasbro, so I believe that you're going to be paying anywhere around $25 to $30 if you find this one on retail. A lot of people are having trouble finding this wave right now, so I guess that means that if you want to go secondhand on the secondhand market, you can get it for around 25 to 40 bucks. I wouldn't do that. I would just find it in the wild and pick it up for that $24.99 price point. That's what I got it for from Third Eye Comics, which is a local comic shop here in my city. But enough about that. Let's take a look at this beautiful retro card and get this guy out of the package. Now, if you look on the front of the retro card, you have that Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1 artwork. You got the Spider-Punk sitting inside of his little clamshell. And of course, you got Miles Morales, Gwen Stacy, and Spider-Man 2099 there on the left side of the package. On the back, you got a picture of all the other figures in the wave and a picture of the Spider-Punk as well. No write-up, which it is what it is. I honestly do prefer the older retro card Spider-Man card backs from last year. I like those a little bit better, but this one will do. And I will say, I'm not planning on getting this whole wave, but I am planning on picking up the Miles Morales and the Spider-Man 2099, so we'll see if I review those ones as well. But like I said, let's go ahead and crack this guy open. You feel me? All right, now fresh out of the box, man, he looks awesome. I will say, I am loving the sculpt on this thing, and this is the main thing that attracted me to this figure was the all-new sculpts, the kind of slender and lanky look on this guy. It just looks sick, and it's honestly a perfect sculpt for this type of character, this kind of punk-looking character with those Liberty spikes on his head. It's almost like I can smell the BO radiating off of this figure, and I love it. I love the details on the vest. You've got the little pins there on his vest looking real punk. You've got the Anarchy pin down there looking nice. The zippers are painted well. The logo on the back of the vest is painted very well. I like the way that the eyes are done. The eyes have that like black paint drip coming off of them, and that looks really cool. That's one thing I noticed right out of the box. I don't know if this is supposed to be how it's designed on the front of the mask, where the webbing doesn't really connect and it's kind of all over the place. Maybe that's how it's supposed to look in the movie. We'll just have to wait and see when the movie comes out. Like I said, I have no knowledge of this character prior, so I'm just going to assume that that's how the mask is supposed to look. So that looks fine. I do like the way that the vest is done. There's a lot of nice detailing with all the studs all over it. You've got the pins there looking real punk, looking real nice. I wonder if the gauntlets on the arm and the wrist are supposed to be like painted that way, like half of the studs are silver and the other half are black. I'm not sure if that's just bad QC or if that's a design choice. Like I said, we'll have to wait for the movie on that one. Let me know in the comments if you guys know if it's supposed to be like that. Like I said, I'm just gonna assume that's how it's supposed to be because it's so apparent that it's not painted silver in certain parts. Like it looks like it's supposed to be like that. So hopefully that's how it's supposed to be. I'm not gonna dock too many points for that. One thing that is very apparent and stands out to me is that there is a lot of paint on this thing compared to most Marvel Legends that I've bought in the past year and a half, and it is a breath of fresh air. I love that. The belt looks cool. The paint apps on the ties on the back of the boots it could be better, and the paint apps overall could be a little bit better. There's a few little imperfections, a little smudge on his arm. You know, at this point with Marvel Legends, I don't honestly expect, you know, top-notch anything, which is kind of sad to say, you know, but I'm not, you know, a primary Marvel Legends collector, so if I get a figure, it's because I really want it, and I really wanted this figure. So the paint apps are okay. I feel like, you know, we can just get right into the accessories because this is a really simple release. All you get with him is his guitar, and you get a extra hand. That's the web slinging hand slash the, you know, rock and roll sign hand. The guitar, to me, it looks really, really nice. It's painted very well, but my issue with the guitar is that the strings aren't painted. I don't understand why they couldn't paint the strings a different color. That kind of blows my mind, especially when you don't get that much with this figure. The whammy bar on it is the same color as well. I'm not a guitar guy, so I don't know what you call it, but like the little struts that the strings connect to aren't painted either. The stickers on the guitar look really cool. Like, it looks really, really awesome. And the strap, I like the little texturing in it, and the strap is painted. I don't understand why they couldn't paint the strings. And even on the guitar, you've got like a slight little wash behind the stickers. Like, it looks really cool. Like, the back of the guitar isn't painted either. I just think that's really lazy. They definitely phoned it in for sure, and all you get is that and one hand, which is honestly to me the biggest negative about this figure. Just getting right into it, we need more hands. This is a Spider-Man figure, you know, like give us another web slinging hand for the other hand, because all we have is that pick hand, which is really awkward because if you pose him without his guitar, why does he have a pick in his hand? No wall crawling hands. I mean, even just normal fists. For the $25 price point, there's no reason why you can't give us at least a set of fisted hands, and there's no Build-A-Figure in this wave, so that's really disappointing. But yeah, I kind of just mashed together aesthetic and, you know, accessories because there's not a whole lot to this figure. It's pretty simple, but, you know, there's no excuse in my opinion for the accessories lot that come with this guy to be so weak. I'm going to go over articulation very quickly. If you're new to the channel, I normally don't go over every single point of articulation because I do not design action figures. I am not a scientist. I'm just a guy who plays with toys, but I will put him in some poses so you guys can see what he can do. And the articulation is not too bad on this guy. There's a few things that are disappointing. There's a few things that are cool. I'm really, really disappointed that it doesn't have any butterfly joints. A Spider-Man figure without butterfly joints is obviously going to be something that is just ridiculous. But not too upset about it because this is Spider-Punk. And like I said, I don't know much about Spider-Punk, so I don't know how agile he's supposed to be or whatever. But you know, just not having butterfly joints on a Spider-Man figure doesn't feel right. I will say the ab crunch on this guy is excellent. It goes really, really far forward and really, really far back. When you push it back, there is a little bit of that pregnant, you know, nub showing, but it's not as bad as it has been before in other Marvel Legends releases. And there is a little bit of a hump in the back, but because he has that vest on, it covers it up. So that is awesome. The amount of range you get on that back and forth ab crunch is great, but there's no side to side. There is no side to side at all. You can only go back and forth. You do get a waist swivel as well, which is customary. You get your double jointed elbows, double jointed knees, thigh swivel, all that good stuff. Can't do the splits, which isn't that big of a deal. But what is weird to me is how they kind of engineered the legs and boots. And this is the part that's really interesting and probably going to be really polarizing to a lot. So that boot swivel is literally right under the double jointed knee, and because there's not that much space between where the boot swivel is at and the double jointed knee is at, it's very, very extremely flimsy in that area of this action figure, to the point where it's just wobbly and it doesn't really seem too stable when it's on the shelf. And the plastic overall kind of has a cheaper feel to it. So the articulation is a mixed bag. It's not terrible, it's not great, it's not, you know, anything to run home about. It's just passable. All right, now let's take a look at some size comparisons. Since I know you're gonna have this guy in your Spider-Man display, we're gonna put him up against some other Spider-Man. We're gonna put him up against the Japanese Spider-Man, the Black Symbiote Spider-Man, and the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man. And I think he scales pretty well. He's a nice tall boy. I like it. I like the way it looks against those guys. And we're gonna have him against some villains here. We're gonna have him against the retro carded Shocker. We're gonna have him against the King in Black 2-pack Venom, who is just hulking almost out of the frame, and against the Walgreens exclusive Jigsaw. And for some more Marvel comparisons, here we have him against the Marvel Select Green Goblin, which is a 7-inch scale figure. We have him against the House of X Wolverine in the brown suit, and against the Black Panther Wakanda Forever Atuma Build-A-Figure Wave Everett Ross. And for one last comparison, just against some other toy lines, we have him against the Jazzwares AEW Street Fighter Kenny Omega, against the Full Power Super Saiyan Goku from SH Figuarts, and against the G.I. Joe Classified Snake Eyes. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and give my final thoughts on this guy. I really do enjoy the look of this action figure. He stands out on a shelf. And if you're a person who collects Marvel Legends, or just particularly Spider-Man in general, that's really the main thing I collect from Marvel Legends, then you are going to have a good time with this figure. He's definitely a conversation piece. The thing about this figure that makes him worthy of a purchase more than anything is the new sculpt, and I think that's going to be the same thing for everybody else in this wave as well. There's just some things that are really bad. The fact that you don't get any accessories, really. I feel like the guitar should be a given with Spider-Punk, so I don't even want to count that as an accessory. But you don't get any extra hands. It just feels kind of incomplete. The plastic feels kind of cheap, especially down there at those boot swivels and double jointed knees. No butterfly joints. Paint apps are kind of sloppy. It's hard for me to praise this figure, even though I do like it, and I really am happy that I bought it. But I'm gonna have to go ahead and give this guy a number grade, and if I were to give him a number grade, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. He's just above average. To me, a 5 is average, and he is just above average, barely. There's a lot of things they could have done better with this figure, and it doesn't give me too much hope for the rest of the wave, honestly. But like I said, there are a few other figures from this wave that I do want to pick up. I plan on picking up that Miles Morales. I plan on picking up Spider-Man 2099, and I may pick up the Gwen Stacy because she looks cool as well. But if you have this guy, what do you think? If you don't have this guy, are you planning on getting him? And as always, do like I always tell you to do, like and subscribe. Make sure you turn on that notification bell so you never miss a video. And until next time, peace.